I just made $13,516 on my very first Novation deal. Now, we're going to dive into it. I'm going to tell you guys how we did it and my process during the whole Novation. Is it a good strategy? Is it as good as people say? Let's get into it. So you hear a lot from YouTubers, investors, wholesalers about this new product called a Novation. And it is a great strategy to use. It is my first time doing it. I've reached out to my mentor. They've told me, hey, try this Novation pitch. We're starting to do 50% Novations, 50% wholesales. So I took a swing at it. We had a lot of deals that were in our pipeline that didn't have enough as for a wholesale. The seller didn't want to continue with the wholesale. We're too low in offers, so we were able to offer a Novation. Starting off, what is a Novation in the first place? Well, in Google's terms, a Novation is the replacement of a contract. It can be a purchase agreement being replaced by a buyer's end agreement, or so on and so forth. Now, for us, what you may find on YouTube, you may hear a lot of YouTubers, wholesalers, investors talking about is Novation is a great way to get warm leads or leads that you're looking to wholesale where the seller doesn't really like your price. They don't like the 70%, 60% that you're offering, and they want to be higher in price. This has been a great opportunity for us to get those sellers to come back to sell to us. And we may not be the buyer, or we might not even use our cash buyers, but we're still able to get them the price that they want, while still being able to make the spread or the amount of money that we need for our company. So let's dive into it. So I had my agents go ahead and make calls using other videos that we used on my YouTube channel in regards to calling multiple leads on call tools. They called thousands of leads a day, and they found this one owner who had this house that he wanted to sell for $73,000. We told him, hey, this is a house that we can't take on for $73,000. If we were to buy this ourselves cash via a wholesale, we would have to be in the $50,000 to $60,000 range. He said, no way, can't do it. That's way too low for me. And I said, well, the good thing for you is we can still go on with our equity protection program, where it will allow us to lock you in at a price, which was $73,000, and we will go put it on the open market. And we will go do any repairs that come back on an inspection, and we will go do those repairs for you on your behalf. We'll pay for realtor fees. We will pay for a maid service to come out and clean your property. We will do the entire sale of the property so you could sit back, relax, take the $73,000 that you need, and we will go do everything. We will go take care of the property for you. And the seller agreed. He loved that process. He got the money that he needed. He was all into it. He doesn't want to have to go do repairs. He doesn't want to have to go do all this extra stuff, paying for agents, dealing with the communication of the property. He just wants it sold. And so this ended up being the perfect client for us. We can guarantee him $73,000. We can go do any repairs that are needed, and essentially we can make good money on top. So here's how we did it. This is the numbers behind it. So diving into the numbers, when you do a Novation, you need to figure out what price does the seller want. As previously discussed, the seller wanted $73,000, and what price you're going to sell at in its current as is state. So at its as is state, we knew that this property will sell anywhere from $90,000 to $100,000. We looked at comps. We made sure that we knew where we were going to be at, contacted real estate agents asking them, hey, what could this property sell as is today? And we knew that it would sell anywhere from that 90 to 100,000 range. We were hoping for 110, but that wasn't the case. So what we did was we got that $90,000, $95,000 that the buyer decided to buy at. You times that by 0.92. Now that 8%, that 0.92 is including agent fees, and it's including agent fees for commission, and it's including closing costs. So it may be different for you. In your area, you may have a 6% agent or realtor commission. For us, it's 6%. And then the average closing cost is about 2%, where that's split between the buyer and the seller. For us, we take on the seller's closing costs. So we're going to be the ones paying that out of pocket. So account for that. So 95,000 times 0.92 minus any repairs, any admin fee that you may have for the realtor. For us, that's $300. So that brings us to a gross profit of $87,100 after all fees are paid. You get that $87,100 in profit, and you minus it by the contract price you have with the seller, and that will be your profit. So before you even go into contract, you need to get an idea of what is it going to sell for, and is this enough risk for me to go ahead and go through with this sale. So like I said, once you find out those numbers, you minus it by the amount that you have under contract, and you'll get an idea of how much you're going to make out of this profit. And you can use that to your benefit. You can see if, hey, is this going to be enough spread for me to make? Is it worth it? For us, it was our first novation. Most of our wholesales make us $10,000 on average. That is our minimum that we will take on a wholesale. For a novation, it can be a 3-month process, meaning making $13,000 may not be what you want for a 3-month process. For us, we were very hands-off. We didn't do much on this. The realtor handled the majority of everything for us. So $13,000 wasn't terrible. We would like $20,000 on a novation, but we also know that we're in the Midwest. We buy a lot of properties in the Midwest, and we may not get the novation price or the sales price that you would get in a Florida or in Austin or San Diego. So for us, this is a pretty good first novation. We made $13,516. That is what's on the HUD statement. That is on the closing statement. But we tentatively were planning to get anywhere close to 14 grand once we went under contract with the seller. We closed in a week. We found a cash buyer on this one. We have other novations where we're actually going through with an FHA loan. So it's going to take a longer process. It's a longer time to be able to get approved, make more money, stuff like that. On that one, we're going to make about $17,000. But nonetheless, it is using the same numbers, the same figures that I am showing you right here, right now. Thoughts on doing this novation is pretty simple. I feel like you have to do it. If you're going to be in the game, I feel like this is the direction you must go in. Most of our deals now are novations rather than wholesale. And the reason is because you could still wholesale the novation. You can reach out to a cash buyer and have them buy the novation if you need it gone quickly. You may have not locked in the price at a wholesale price, but you still have the opportunity to reach out to buyers and get rid of the property in the 30-day timeline that you would a normal wholesale, but instead you're under the novation strategy. Likewise, I feel like owners like the novation more than they like the wholesale. Reason being, they get their price, number one, which is the biggest thing for a lot of these guys is they want to walk away feeling like they made their money's worth out of this whole time of dealing with the property, which I totally understand. I get it. So for that reason, I feel like the novation is great. The con, there is cons to novation. There's deals that we did where we made literally $40 on. The second novation that we did, we made $40 on. And the reason is because we didn't vet the property and the owner well enough. So with the property that we did, we should have just paid attention to, hey, how much repairs does this actually have? Are we going to do those repairs? We didn't want to do the repairs on the property because the property we did was absolute dog water. So for that reason, we should have not have taken it on, and we shouldn't have locked it in at a $50,000 price range of what we were at. It was too high. It was locked in at a price too high, and there was too many repairs that were needed to be done that we weren't getting any movement. We finally found a buyer who would buy it at the $50,000 price, and I had a retrade with the owner at $45,000, so I don't lose any money out of pocket. What that did for me is caused me to make $48 on my second Novation. And I should have paid attention to the property. I should have vetted the owners, and I should have not taken their word for the property being as nice as it is. So you definitely, depending on how you want to do the Novation, if you're planning on doing the repairs and making X amount of dollars and flip the property, then go ahead. For us, we weren't doing that on our first few. So we should have waited and we should have vetted out the property. So there is cons to Novation because you need to be transparent with the seller. You need to be able to talk to the seller and tell them, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's a little bit more of a catering process compared to a wholesale. You can just be in and out with the wholesale. With the Novation, you kind of have to now provide some kind of customer service, some reviews. You need to build a presence or make them feel like you're a well-trusted company because you are taking over their property. You are promising things that you need to have performed, and you need to make them feel comfortable during a 90-day timeline of, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing with your property. I'm going to be replacing the windows or doing XYZ to your property. They don't want to walk into a property that's all messed up because they decided to go with you and you're not updating them, stuff like that. So in all, I think Novations are essential if you're going to be growing a wholesaling company or just investing in deals just in general. It gives you the opportunity to still wholesale the contract, gives you the opportunity to flip the contract, gives you the opportunity to sell the contract, and be able to make some money. So I personally like it. I personally think it's a better way to go and lock up deals because it gives you so much flexibility. Like I said, it requires some more catering than the others, but it just gives you more time, more flexibility, but that requires you to be fully transparent with the owner and telling them, this is what I'm doing. So Novations now have been game changers. Most of our deals are now Novations. So I appreciate the guys on YouTube that have put out content for it. I appreciate mentorship groups that I'm in that walked me through the whole entire deal. So that way we can continue to do these and make more money off of Novation strategies while still doing wholesales, still doing some flips and moving some money around. So if you guys have any questions, please put them below. There's a ton of things that I had to ask for my first Novation, asking mentors, stuff like that, other people that did them. So I'm sure you guys do as well. So ask your questions below, like, comment, subscribe. If you need me, ask for me. I will get back to you. All right, guys, let's keep killing it. Let's keep pushing through 2024, halfway through the year. Let's keep it going. Have a good day.
I don't know where we're gonna go from here. I can't be sure, but I'ma keep on steering.